Hello everyone, I'm Ms. Jordi, the Young Adult Librarian at the Augusta-Richmond County Public Library. Thank you for joining me today as I give you my YA book picks to help you celebrate Black history in February and throughout the year. I'm excited to share with you several awesome YA novels written by African American authors that feature African American preteens and teens. My first pick is Stamped: Racism, Anti-Racism, and You by Jason Reynolds and Dr. Ibram X. Kendi. It's a remix for young readers of Dr. Kendi's book, Stamped from the Beginning: The Definitive History of Racist Ideas in America, which won the National Book Award. If you're thinking, not another history book, you'll be glad to know that this is not a history book. As the authors say, it's a book about the here and now. Rather than giving you a lecture on the history of race and racism in the United States of America, Jason Reynolds writes in a conversational tone that is engaging. It feels like he's right there talking to you. In the introduction, Dr. Kendi says that the first step to building an anti-racist America is acknowledging America's racist past. And by acknowledging America's racist past, we can acknowledge America's racist present. In doing so, we can build towards an anti-racist America where no racial group has more or less, or is thought of as more or less. In an interview, Jason Reynolds says that as young adults, this book is the thing that creates your superpower. And with that superpower, you have the opportunity to undo the paradigm of racism and to recreate a new context of anti-racism, which will make the world a much, much, much better place. You can check out this book in print at all of our branches, as well as on the Libby app, where it's available in ebook and audiobook formats. My second pick is Saving Savannah by Tanya Bolden, which mentions an aspect of the Black experience we don't hear many stories about: Black elites. It's a historical fiction novel about 17-year-old Savannah Riddle, a daughter of an upper-class African-American family in Washington, D.C. during the early 1900s. Although she has access to so many opportunities, such as attending one of the most rigorous public schools in the nation, Black or white, and has her pick among the young men in her circle, she feels like there's more to life than nice cars, fancy clothes, and lavish parties. After meeting Lloyd, a young West Indian man from the working class, Savannah's eyes are open to how the other half lives, and she is inspired to fight for change. As you read this book, ask yourself if you were living during this turbulent time of the women's rights movement, the Red Summer, and the anarchist bombings of 1919, how much would you be willing to risk to be the change in a world on the brink of dramatic transformation? This is Savannah's dilemma. Journey with her to find out what choice she makes and see if you would have done the same. This book is recommended for ages 13 through 17 years old. My third pick is Not So Pure and Simple by Lamar Giles. It's a fiction novel about 16-year-old Dale Rainey, who accidentally signs up for a purity pledge at church to get close to his longtime crush, Kiara Westing. Because she has always had a boyfriend since he's known her in kindergarten, he isn't going to miss out on his shot of getting his dream girl now that she's single. To help him out, he asked one of Kiara's closest friends, Jameer, a fellow purity pledger, to put in a good word for him. In exchange, Dale has to do just one thing: get answers to the pledger's sex ed questions. With time running out and other boys circling Kiara like sharks, Dale needs to step up. But as he plots and plans, he neglects to ask one important question: what does Kiara want? Written in a way that's heartfelt or will have you laughing out loud, Lamar Giles manages to put real issues in the spotlight, such as teen attitudes toward sex and relationships, gender power dynamics, toxic masculinity, societal pressures on youth, and the complexity of what it means to be a quote-unquote real man. This book is recommended for teens ages 13 through 17. And last but not least, my final pick is Genesis Begins Again by Alicia D. Williams. It's a fiction novel about 13-year-old Genesis, who has a list of 96 reasons why she dislikes herself, which is a continuation of a list two classmates gave her in 5th grade of 100 reasons why they hated her, but only listed 60 reasons. Some of the things on her list are because her family is always being put out of their house, because her dad has a gambling problem and maybe a drinking problem too, because Genesis knows this is all her fault, because she wasn't born looking like mama, and because she is too Black. Genesis is determined to fix her family, and she's willing to try anything to do so, even if it means harming herself in the process. But when she starts to find a thing or two she actually likes about herself, she discovers that changing her own attitude is the first step in helping change the attitudes of others as well. Written in a heartfelt and humorous way, this book tackles issues such as internalized racism that is passed down through generations and how it can damage a young person's self-esteem when he or she doesn't meet cultural standards of beauty. It teaches the importance of self-acceptance and loving yourself. This book is recommended for ages 9 through 13. Here's a list of several more new YA books for you to check out and enjoy. This Is My America by Kim Johnson. Girls Like Us by Randy Pink. You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. Raybearer by Jordan Ifeco. Opposite of Always by Justin A. Reynolds. Punching the Air by Evie Zoboy and Yusuf Salaam. Who Put This Song On by Morgan Parker. Before the Ever After by Jacqueline Woodson. The Voting Booth by Brandy Colbert. And Pride by Evie Zoboy. Thank you again for joining me today as we celebrate Black History Month, and I hope you'll find your next great read from the books mentioned. Please be sure to follow us on social media. You can find us by searching for the Augusta-Richmond County Public Library, as well as the Young Adults at Augusta Library on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you later.